Welcome to Talking in Stations EVE Online Daily. This is Matterall here with Manixar. What's up, Manixar?
Hello, not too much.
Whoa. Sound check. Try that again.
Not too much.
Try not to talk into your mic. Try it again.
Too loud? Oh, am I too loud?
You're too loud.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. How's this?
I'll bring it down here. Okay. Let's see. What day is it? It is Thursday, September 10th, 2020. We're also here with Gregorian. How's it going, Gregorian?
I'm not bad. You?
Good. Okay, so big news today is Alphastarpilot. He's the FC for Horde. Been their major FC for a long time. Has decided to take time away from EVE Online so he can focus on real life, and we wish him well, as did others. Also today, Losecnia Schulpen took out an Aeon from Sundering. We'll look at that. Looks like there's light fighting in Syndicate, EVE University involved with that. We saw some numbers released on the war report, 6 weeks of activity. We'll have a look at the graphs to see what the predictions are of people actually participating in the war. And TCP announces the best skins of 2020 have gone on sale. So we'll have a look at some of those. But before we start, I want to check in with Gregorian and Manixar, and how have you guys been and what's going on in your neck of the woods?
I've been doing all right. Most of what I've been doing has been related to the war stuff in game.
I've been doing pretty well too. We've been doing over in my neck of the woods, just ADM work and everything that goes with gaining new solve, right?
Who are you flying with?
EVE University. Or no, I'm sorry, not EVE University. I fly with Rogue University and part of the Raking crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, quite a different group there.
It's a huge different group. Sorry, we were talking about EVE Uni and Syndicate. And I was like, wait a minute. Threw me off a little bit.
All right, let's get started here. Looking at the most violent regions in 0-0, Querius, of course, that's where the war is happening right now. And it's registering over 1,000 kills in the last 24 hours, I believe. Followed by Delve, which is a neighboring system. The focus of the invasion, 815 ships destroyed there, but also looks like activity in Catch, which is the home for Test, the group that is attacking Delve. And they also suffered about the same, 816. And that's kind of funny. Delve and Catch both suffering the same amount of casualties. In Empire Space, Lone Trek again at the top of the list. There must be some Triglavian stuff going on. 2,682 ships destroyed, with the Forge in second place, which is now unusual. That is the home of Jita Trade Hub with 2,207 ships destroyed. And in third place now is Domain, which is usually the leader, as Niarja is in Domain. And Niarja is a lawless system that used to be a trade route. Okay, let's go on to most violent systems to see if there's anything going on in the last 3 hours. We can see that Querius 8 TAC Y, some activity there, 184 ships destroyed in the last 3 hours again. But overall, in the last 24 hours, looks like Syndicate had a battle, PC9 TAC AY. Haven't seen Syndicate in a while. That is an NPC region where a lot of people actually go to start out PvPing in nullsec. Not that they're beginners, but it's a good medium, I would say medium hard area to live in and to exist in. So if you're going there, you're already pretty good at the game. You're a pretty good warrior at PvP, and that's a place to go and look for some stuff to do. A lot of groups will get their start there because they're usually figured it's time for them to graduate. Okay, so also we see some Querius activity again in the system we just talked about, 8 TAC Y. Most of that activity looks to be happening right now. And in low sec, looks like something's going on in Hamatar. The system is Dal. 224 ships destroyed there in the last 3 hours. Maybe we'll take a peek, see if there's something interesting going on. It looks like it's been a active in the last 24 hours. That same system is second on the most dangerous low-sec systems with 389 ships destroyed in 24-hour cycle. Bet that's actually something that's happening right about now. Top of the list is Tama, and in third place is Rancer, the usual. Going to Niarja, that system does have a ton of activity in high sec, 1,149, but it's probably the only system in Domain that's under seeing a lot of PvP activity because Domain came in third place today. Oh, Nani shows up in third place. That's Lone Trek, probably contributing to Lone Trek's high numbers of kills this month, this 24-hour cycle, with over 300 kills, 303 ships destroyed in Nani. That is a border system to Tribute, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, not to Tribute, but to Onanen, which is a popular jump point from Tribute. Okay. Let's see. That's good for, let's look at the SOV changes. Pandemic Horde losing 35 systems, all of those in Fountain, I believe. I'll take a quick peek here. Yeah. This is all being taken back by the initiative. I should say it's either being abandoned or taken back by force. There is no resistance. Pandemic Horde has left that region after it was attacked, captured, and destroyed. At least the structures there were destroyed and vacated. And Horde is not putting up any kind of defense, maybe some harassment here and there, but in very small groups. Certainly not any kind of military objectives. In the meantime, you can see Initiative starting to pick up systems. They've picked up 10 on the board, but they've got many more than that because they're really tackling I-hubs, the infrastructure hubs, not the territory. They'll get the territory later if they want it. Right now, they want control of the infrastructure. And that's what they've been after.
In Pandemic Horde, we didn't really consider staying in Fountain to be a priority. Our goal was never to stay in Fountain, so now that our objectives in Fountain have been completed, we moved on to a different region.
Can I guess what that region is? Is it Querius?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard that from Billy yesterday. The Querius campaign is already kicked off. So Fountain is being taken over every day. More blue showing up on this. They're controlling those iHubs. They're gathering them rather quickly. It looks like maybe 10-20% every day. They're grabbing them back. And these are the interesting ones here. These are actually the home of Null Secnia. And those are the ones I expect to be contested, if any. Everything else here is kind of up for grabs for now. The question is, how long will Initiative be there? And is it prudent for anyone to move to Providence at this time? What do you guys think?
I think Fountain will probably continue to be fought over with Initiative until they're needed in Querius. It looks like, Horde came in, or Pappy came in, glassed the region, took out all the major structures, probably cleared out all the moons, at least all the R64 moons, and then just left. So Initiative can come back and start to repopulate the system, but I don't know if they're going to drop any major structures like Keep Stars. They'll probably have some R64s maybe set up, start getting some income, but the region's pretty bare right now. So anything to do is going to take a while, right? It's going to take months to get the region back up to where it's actually usable. And we'll have to see what happens once the pressure on Querius gets a little more intense.
I don't expect them to be doing much with Fountain because, particularly because of how long the regional gate with Delve is. It would be hard to protect both regions, and now isn't a time when it's a good idea to divide up their capital force to protect both regions.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't see Horde as needing to fight this fight. Clearly, they're not going to go through, Pappy forces are not going to go through that gate. They would have done that had they wanted to. So this is not a strategic area for them. It might have been a floodplain before, and essentially valueless, or I wouldn't say valueless, but not of value to the Imperium. When Horde took it over, it wasn't really of value to them either, since they weren't going to use it strategically. And they have now moved themselves into Querius, where they seem to be building a little bit of, I guess, momentum to actually attack Delve itself. Let's look at Querius here. Have a look at how much stuff. Oh, look, they're starting to work on that spine. It looks like this area here is what Billy called the Querian spine, the Querius spine, which is interesting because it does kind of look like that. And this is the area that I believe, yeah, ATAC B. This is starting to get to. We'll take the world view at this. Click here, and then click here, and this will give us the world view, because I think this is starting to encroach on Delve. Really weird how it jumps to like 100% view when you click it 3 times in a row. Yep. So my suspicion is that this spine here that they're starting to work on, that's really what we've been watching for, is this group here, this group of Querian, Querius again. Yeah, that spine there, it leads into NPC Delve. And then this lower part of the spine here enters even further into Delve. So that's prime real estate for Pappy coming into Delve, because they can jump from there. And that's really what it's all about. Let's see if we
Absolutely. Plus,
yeah,
these are also the first timers too. So they're still not in control by Pappy forces yet. And I'm sure Imperium forces will put up a fight for these systems once they come out of Reinforce.
Well, we should be seeing some fighting happening. I mean, this is starting to get close. So I don't think, I'm not sure their battle plan. Nobody is. It's not public. Nobody in the public is that I know of. But I don't think they're going to waste a whole lot of time conquering all of Querius. They don't want Querius. They need to use it as a tool. They need to use it as a platform. And they really just want to get to this area here where they can jump in and start.
And Querius wasn't the Imperium's home region like Fountain was for the initiative. So there's a lot less built up in there to destroy.
Right. That's a good point, actually, because in taking Fountain, they did actually, on the scoreboard, take points away from the Imperium, because that they actually had structures in there. I think it was like 4 trillion in structures, which is quite a bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's definitely not as many structures in Querius as there was in Fountain, especially major structures like Keep Stars, Yotos, and the Type. So as far as that goes, it will be faster to clear those structures out that are in Querius. But the systems, I don't see Imperium just giving these systems up so easily. But we'll have to see, because this is the first attack timer, and the attackers always have the advantage on these timers.
Okay. So we went to the war report. We'll stick with the war report. Normally we go to this later. Let's take a look at activity levels, since we're in on this already. We have let's see if I can bring this up here. This is actually made by someone in Bastion named Ned Flanders, and I think he did a Reddit post. We'll show you that first, and then we'll have a closer look at that actual post. But he talks about this chart that he's been tracking since, I believe it's July 31st. And let's see. Because it's July 31st, it doesn't go to the beginning of the war. It kind of takes after the first month. But this is the last 30 days, is it? Last 60 days, I should say, right? This is active characters on Z kill board. So if you registered a kill, you will show up on this for your group. And so we see Goon Swarm at the top there with blue. And right below it is Pandemic Horde in red. And they're running essentially in parallel, it looks like. And you can see they're both sliding down, except right here, this area here is a big bump. That bump is YTAC 2 when the Imperium won a great victory defending their keep star there. It was temporary because YTAC 2 was destroyed, but that bump registers on the amount of people that were getting involved in fights. So you can see it has a direct correlation with people's activity when you start scoring up some wins. One group that we've seen kind of decline is in green here, and it's the initiative. You can see they had outstanding numbers at the beginning of the war, which is natural since they were really under the gun, right? People came in to attack Fountain, and that's them. So they formed up big at the beginning of this war and stayed pretty strong until, again, this dip here corresponds with a battle where they lost a bunch of capitals. And it's not that they were hurt by capital losses, but it was understood at that time that they couldn't defend Fountain the way they wanted to. They needed to retreat. And you see those numbers drop as far as PvP activity because they're just not engaging in the fights that they want at that time. And they've been in pretty much a stable but lower level for a while. And they slid a little bit here, but they've kind of maintained a pretty steady, but not nearly what they started with level. And so if we look over here on the right-hand side, he actually describes this guy from Bastion that Goon Swarm is down 17%. Pandemic Horde is down 8%. Test is down 5%. The Initiative is down 25%. And Northern Coalition is down 8%. That's at the 6-week change. And that is different than the 2-week mark, right? Which he made another one. We don't have it up here, but at 2 weeks, Goon Swarm only had 6%. So they've fallen an additional 11% as far as activity goes. Pandemic Horde had only 1% at the time. Test Alliance had I guess that's a positive 12%. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I don't know how that reads, but yeah, positive. Oh, I see. From the very beginning, after 2 weeks, Test is way up 12%. Northern Coalition's way up 12%. But now after 6 weeks, Test is actually down 5%. So I imagine they have lost, I guess if we put that together, they've lost like 17% as well. I think that's how you're supposed to read this. And Northern Coalition, which is now at negative, I can't see if that's a 6 or a 9%. So they're down about, the 6 weeks change must be from the second week, I guess. I'm thinking that the 6 week is marked back to the point where the second week stats were taken. And the second week is marked back to the beginning of the stats being taken.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So this is a 4-week change then up here, this 6-week change versus the 2-week change, I think. The overall takeaway from this, as the maker of this, Ned Flanders, puts it is, and I'll read this from his text. In it, and Mercs had insane numbers when holding D4K, and that's the beginning of this war. And that's what that big green bump is right here. That means insane numbers means they all formed up to defend. They were hyped up to defend. The first week of the war. Go ahead.
At the beginning, when Horde was staging out of Hafib in Aridia, Initiative for the first part of that could put out really good numbers when you consider that they're a lot smaller than Horde, and they were often outforming larger numbers than Horde at that point. But I guess that fight where they lost a carrier fleet took the wind out of them.
Yeah. We knew that at the time, too. I want to say, when we were watching that fight, we thought something's changed here. This fight is a psychological blow, and sure enough, it was. I'm going to bring in Jay Silva in case he wants to join us. Jay Silva is from Goon Swarm.
Yeah, that was definitely a turning point for sure.
Right.
for initiative.
Yeah, and you can see that's reflected right here. Another turning point is this battle where Goon Swarm won a great victory in YTAC 2, and look at how their numbers jumped up. And ever since then, they've kind of been sliding downward. Again, these are PvP numbers. And I'm going back to what Flanders was saying here. He said, one evening there was 950 init on grid in D4K. That would translate to a huge Z-kill activity. I don't think so, though, because you have to shoot something to register on Z-kill activity. You can't just be there. So I don't think just forming works. These are numbers of people that have actually touched something with a bullet. But he goes on to say, obvious it was both subcaps and cap alts, which greatly bloat numbers. But yeah, wouldn't surprise me if init were down 40% since D4K. That's huge. Last week, they were down 28% at their lowest point. So it's very much possible. Sadly, that was before I started recording data. He says, but then again, today I have noticed facts only hat on, so no need to speculate. Okay. And he has an edit here where he says, actually, init probably are down 40% in this data as well. For some reason, init mercs have been much more stable, while init has been dropping heavily. But since I've recorded init and mercs together, that might get accused of spin due to, well, doesn't really matter. But that's an interesting thing, that it's actually init that's falling, not init mercs. Init mercs have been stable. I don't know what that tells me. Okay.
I don't fully understand the difference between the two alliances beyond that you have to spend 6 months in mercenaries before your corps moves into regular initiative.
Oh, it's that traditional, you don't want them on your scoreboard until you can trust that they'll be good. So you hold them off onto an alternative alliance and you let them try out. And if they prove to be dedicated and they stick around 6 months, then you can presume that they're going to be dedicated when they join init. And so then you move them in. Nully Segunda used to do that. Everybody used to do that. I think, who do you fly with? It's not Snig, it's...
I'm in Snigwafa, and yeah, we did start out as Pandemic Legion's training corps in a similar way.
Yeah, but what was the alliance called?
Waffles.
Waffles, yeah. Serve that same purpose. It's a training alliance, keeps you off their scoreboard so you don't, wreck their numbers. And they get to test you out as long as they want to see like if you're actually going to stick it out. And normally if you stick around long enough, you'll get in there, but you do have to produce. Otherwise they encourage you to either stay in there or go somewhere else. Okay, on to other news. I think a lot of this is on, let's see, I believe a lot of this is on the Reddit here. This first one might be, oh, okay, well, let's talk about this. The Horn of Gundor was sounded. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a mailing list of everybody that's belonged to Goon Swarm at one point. I don't know how they compile it, but if you're blacklisted, you're probably not on it. And they sent out an email to everyone saying, and this is written publicly, it's like, come join this big fight. The game's not so bad. It's actually quite good. I'm paraphrasing. And if you can't, well, then encourage somebody else that you know that has been a part of Goon Swarm, or donate money and supplies and that kind of stuff. So it's basically a call to say, if you've ever loved us, now's the time to show it. Come back, help us out. We're on the verge of getting everything that we built destroyed. And so there's a lot of takeaways from that, but let's just say what the actual result was. We had at least one character, Minna, come back and give 2.3 trillion. 1 trillion of that was in raw ISK, but he also gave 1.3. According to some reports, I think that was a Goon Swarm. Caleb, I think. He's not Goon Swarm, but Caleb's the one that said 2.3, I believe, or agreed to it. But I don't have a strong source, like a perfect source on what that was worth. But let's say 2.3 trillion, and a lot of that in Moon Goo. So that was a big deal. What you also have here, and we have that on screen, we showed you the Mina stuff yesterday, so we'll show you this today, is somebody basically saying no, take off. I can't say what he actually says there, but that's what that one is at the top of the list. Looks like it's getting a ton of upvotes. Basically, people saying this is why I'm not coming back to join you, and it's essentially someone saying they don't like Goon Swarm. And if you keep going, don't know what that is. Where is this is what we just covered here, but I thought, here it is. This is the next item of news. Alphastarpilot is taking a break. He wrote something out to his group, and it's rather public, but he's going to take some time for real life and get some things going besides EVE Online. We all know he's done a ton for EVE Online. He's been really good, and he's leaving at the top of his game, so good for him.
This game would be worse off without him.
Yeah, it's sad to see him go. So hopefully he gets everything straightened out, and the best of luck to him.
Yeah. All right, and so I'm not going to just go down Reddit there. Let's go to other stuff. Red Corporation closes from red versus blue. Do you know much about that, Gregorian?
I don't know what happened. I only know that the red side looks like it closed, and last I saw that blue was still open. I don't know what happened though.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Red versus... Oh, go ahead.
I think like maybe looking at their corporation history and the alliance history of the corporation, it just looks like they've disbanded the alliance a few times. So maybe there wasn't money in the wallet. No one. Guess we won't find out till someone really tells us.
Yeah. We were surmising that the corp leader and CEO of Red was somebody that ran for CSM. We'll try to figure out who that is. Okay, so that's not on this board. Let's go back to a neutral view here. Another thing is Losecnia. Schulpen. Now, these are the Losecnia guys. They took out an Aeon from Sundering. Who is Sundering in Goon Swarm? Silva, do you know?
I think they're a German corp, but don't quote me on that.
I don't think so, because I looked, maybe they are, but one of their diplomats is it Trash Talk Tuesday or part of a different show?
No, I'm thinking of a different corporation. Don Ria is one of the directors.
Yeah. So this is okay. So I don't know what Sundering. I've known that name. I don't remember why. They're part of Goon Swarm, and this one was trying to get through Aridia. Dangerous idea. Losecnia haunts that place literally for years now. When NC was there, NC got a few things taken out. Although we did bait trap them and took out 1 out of 2 Nixes. Not a big deal. But we did fight back when we were there, living in Delve. But you know, these guys are literally sharks in the water, and Aridia is just dangerous. So if that, I think we were talking about this. What's this signify to you guys, if anything?
It's hard to say. We don't know if the guy was there just trying to get some solo PvP in with his carrier or his super carrier, or if he was trying to evac a solo, right? So we're not real sure what his intentions were.
I don't even know if it means anything, because guys like that kill supers all the time. And this one was just... I mean, Horde supers die to Ivana fairly often, and Goon Swarm is a lot closer to LSH than they are to Ivana, so it would make sense to occasionally see Goon Swarm supers die to LSH.
So Ivana is what you would consider the equivalent group on the other side of the map near Horde. So Horde dies to Ivana, and Goon Swarm dies to the Losecnia. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, basically.
And there's nothing to see here.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Okay. I don't know. You may be right. I'm thinking that this is a signal of Escape may not be easy through Aridia. You may have to go through Querius to get out if you have a super and you want to remove it. And that plays forward in the foreshadowing that should Delve decide they want to leave instead of fight, which is probably not going to happen. I think they're going to fight this to the end. That those aren't really options that are good either. So escape is not a good option, and fighting to the end is not a good option unless you win. Then it's a great option. Then you have one of the greatest comebacks we've seen. And the Mittani and Goon Swarm with Imperium has made an amazing comeback when they moved out of Tribute and down to Delve. That was probably the greatest comeback we've ever seen. Can they do it again? I don't know. But Aridia is not to be trifled with if you're trying to get yourself out quietly or trying to remove anything from Delve at this point. I think at this point, like if you haven't sold your super capital, you're going to go down with the ship, or you're going to win a glorious victory.
Well, moving supers these days, especially if you don't have a Fortizar or a Keepstar chain, it's pretty obvious if someone's coming through with some heavy hardware, because you either have to move a recon or a Black Ops. And Aridia is just littered with Fortizars and Posses from Los Technia, and they're quite adept at hunting supers and titans. They've lived in this region since basically I started playing the game, so they know the area well. They know what they're doing quite well, and I don't know what the story behind this Aeon is. It could have been a sale gone bad. It could just be someone looking to loot tank, or it could be someone who was trying to catch up. We don't know, and speculating isn't going to help anything there.
What's a loot tank?
Loot tank, someone goes and joins another alliance that is the enemy that they're fighting, and they get to keep their super alive.
Oh, so you think this might be like a horde? Oh no. Yeah, never mind. Okay, let's see what else we have on the docket. Large fight in Syndicate. Gorgon, you know what that is?
Yeah, that was Eve University's nullsec home system. They have operations in high-sec, low-sec, nullsec, and C2 wormhole, and their nullsec campus's home is that system. So a United Fleet, which is a Russian group, reinforced a couple of their citadels, and they formed up a Ferox fleet to defend it. And during the first timer, United Fleet brought Drake Fleet and CVA third-partied.
Mm-hmm. Oh, CVA's
CVA
up there.
dropped. Yeah, CVA dropped a few carriers.
Do you know what system that is?
PC9 TAC AY.
Ah, so that's what that fighting is about that we saw earlier. Okay. Yeah, here are the spikes of people getting in there.
And during the second timer, it looked like CVA showed up to contest, but not United Fleet, and they brought Balgorns and Leshaks. And from what I've been told, the second timer was also successfully defended with another Ferox fleet.
Oh, yeah. CVA took a beating, it looks like, with their
and
first
I think I saw snuffed out on the battle report, but I don't think they were on the same side as CVA this time.
Yeah, it looks like CVA
Yeah,
Balgorns took
I
a
heard
beating.
that. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard that there was a fracture between Snuff and CVA because Snuff was helping CVA against my group, the Wrecking Crew, earlier in the month. So something definitely happened there, and I'm not sure what.
Yeah, it does look like Snuffed Out took out some Balgorns from CVA. Very interesting development. They were allies. In fact, they were going to work in cooperation with one another. CVA was trying to get some teeth back. They were going to be proteges to the mentorship of Snuffed Out, and who knows what's going on there.
Well, let's be honest. It's just Snuff being Snuff, right?
Well, they're unpredictable, but they're not. They're not crazy. I don't think. Snuff has. They know how to. They know how to work with people. People still work with them to a certain degree. So I don't know what this is. Might have been a mistake, or I don't know. We'll have to find out. But that is interesting. CVA losing some ships at the hands of Snuff.
Yeah, from what I've heard from CVA is that they didn't intend their relationship with Snuffed Out to be a permanent ally. They're still on friendly terms, but they'll still shoot each other when not working together. That's what they're saying.
Mm. You have to regard Snuff as like an animal, and it can be your pet, but it will bite you at some point, and it may challenge you for alpha.
Yeah, I don't know about pet.
Yeah, but yeah, you gotta be careful. All right, last thing we'll look at here is we'll leave you with game news. We did it backwards today, and it looks like the best skins in EVE Online for 2020 are on sale again. Let's have a look at some of those. There they are. Do you guys collect skins?
I
collect skins when I can spare the ISK, and it's a ship that I fly a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love the skins. I wish they would do these packs a little differently. But it is what it is. There definitely could be some work on the skin shop. I believe anyway, personal opinion. But the skins are pretty cool. I like them. This is a decent pack for the cost too. So it's a really good sell.
Right. Okay. Well, that wraps up the news for today. Again, game news: skins are for sale. The best of 2020. In player news, Alphastarpilot is taking a break from EVE Online, possibly a permanent break as he goes on with real life. Good for him, and wish him very well. Red versus Blue. Looks like Red Corporation has closed. It's happened in the past. We wanted to revisit the Horn of Goondorn that was blown. Goondorn, right? That was
Goondor.
Goondor.
It's a play on Gondor, the Horn of Gondor.
Gondor, right? Okay, yeah.
Goondor.
And that got a couple of bad reactions, but also Mina dropped 2.3 on them. Not so bad. And I'm sure other people are coming back and heeding the call for help as the Imperium looks for help. We also saw a 6-week activity, and you can look at that from Ned Flanders of Bastion. Losegnia Shulpin bags an Aeon in Aridia from Sundering, part of Goon Swarm. And then a large fight with CVA and Snuff in Syndicate as EVE University comes under attack and things get all mixed up there. So I want to thank everybody for coming around. Maxar, Gregorian, thank you guys for helping me. And we will see you tomorrow at this channel. Until then, have a good night.